LoreWarrior Armour 3058 Edition, Double Feature, Hunter Light Support Tank. Overview. In 3053, with mech production increasing rapidly, Defiance Industries redesigned their popular Hunter Light Support Tank. The design team made use of modern technology to increase the vehicle's firepower at the original Hunter's reasonable price. Capabilities. In the new Hunter, the original's large missile rack has been replaced with a pair of smaller Starfire launchers, mounted one above the other. Both of these launchers are equipped with the Artemis fire control system and can deliver large numbers of missiles into the target zone with devastating accuracy. To make room for the Artemis unit, the vehicle's designers removed some armour and the defensive flamer. The armour, though lower in overall tonnage, is ferrofibrous rather than standard, and so the degree of protection remains substantially similar. Deployment. Full production of the new Hunter has only recently begun, the first new ones arriving in the Federated Commonwealth by early 3055. Most of the tanks delivered went to Lyran units, and with the recent split in the Federated Commonwealth, these Hunters now belong to the Lyran Alliance. Some analysts have suggested a hidden agenda at work in the ranks of the AFFC's procurement division, but no evidence exists to support these allegations. Testing of the new Hunter highlighted a flaw in the design that affected deployment of the vehicle. During a mock battle, the group of Hunters bombarding an enemy position received warning that a fast scout lance was moving their way. The Hunters fired several volleys at the approaching mechs, causing slight damage, and then began to withdraw. However, the tank's reduced speed allowed the pursuing mechs to close on the ranks and inflict severe damage on these vehicles. As a result, field deployments of Hunters usually pair them with guard units that excel at medium and close-range combat. 3058 Upgrade. Overview. Redesigned in the last days of the clan invasion, the current incarnation of the Hunter light tank was developed by Defiance Industries between 3053 and 3054. Making use of what at the time was cutting-edge technology, the revamp boosted the design's effectiveness while keeping it at a reasonable price. Compared to designs produced in the last few years, the Hunter is now showing its age, but it continues to be manufactured in large numbers. Capabilities. In broad terms, the new Hunter is little different than the version that served in the later Succession Wars, retaining the same basic chassis and configuration, and it's only distinguishable from the older models by trained observers. The most visible change was the addition of Artemis fire control to the missile system and the switch from a single maxi rack to twin Starfires, a firepower increase of roughly 50%, even without the benefits of the advanced fire control system. Overall, the missile's on-target rating of the upgraded Hunter is double that of the older model, with each Starfire launcher making the average on-target rating of the maxi rack. To make room for these modifications, the built-in flamer was removed and the armour carried reduced by a third. The addition of two ferrofibrous composites in lieu of the older armour has, however, mitigated some of this to a degree. Deployment. Full production of the new Hunter began in late 3054, and the first new Hunters arrived in Federated Commonwealth units by early 3055. Most of the tanks delivered went to Lyran units and became part of the nascent LAAF when it ceded from the Federated Commonwealth. Though some have made their way into AFFC units after Catherine Steiner Davian's assumption of the Davian Regency, the vehicle was employed against the clans in both Operations Bulldog and Serpent, but its most significant recent use was in the Fedcom Civil War. Almost half of the extant Hunters were destroyed in this conflict, most commonly when infantry or fast vehicles overran their positions, exploiting the lack of close-in weaponry on the light tank. Battlefield salvage has left some upgraded Hunters in the hands of other successor states, though the numbers are small compared to those of the armed forces of the former Federated Commonwealth. Variants. No official variant of the upgraded Hunter exists, but some units have swapped out one of the missile launchers in favour of laser weaponry, tapping the power outputs and heat dissipation circuits of the sophisticated fusion power plant. A large pulse laser is the favoured choice where the equipment is available, usually combined with additional ammunition for the remaining launcher, but an extended range large laser and additional heat sinks are more common. Another rare variant removes both launchers and adds an Ultra AC-20 with 3 tons of ammunition. This Assault Hunter is not popular with crews, however. Notable crews: the Marionettes. A light formation in the 1st Davian Guards, the 3rd Company of the 370th Point Barrow Grenadiers were annihilated in the early days of the Fedcom Civil War on the orders of Catherine Steiner Davian. The unit's troopers fought valiantly against the forces arrayed against them, never surrendering and following the lead of Marshal Bishop Sortek until his death. When the unit was struck from the rolls and the captured members executed for treason, the survivors escaped New Avalon and linked up with Wittgensteiner Davian. Equipped once more with hunters, the reconstituted marionettes fought to bring down the Archon, but paid a bloody price in the campaign. The survivors, a single tank crew, were incorporated into the reborn 2nd Guards, where they received a place of honour. The Red Banner. Tank 92 of the 2nd Donegal Guards saw considerable action in the Fedcom Civil War, aiding operations against Marek mercenaries on Arcadia and then on Jersor. A rough and ready crew, the Red Banner survived the war with minimal damage and considerable loot, something that's caused friction with other members of the formation. A plethora of non-standard artwork and trinkets adorn their hunter, but the commanders of the 2nd have little opportunity to discipline the crew since the League Alliance border degenerated into open warfare. So, we're back with the Hunter, the 35-ton vehicle that's tracked. Power plant is a Dorman 140. It has a cruise speed of 43 kph and a flank speed of 65. Its armour is Star Slab 4 ferrofibrous, and it has 2 Coventry Starfire LRM racks by default. Manufactured by Defiance Industries, primary factory on Hesperus. Its targeting and tracking system is the Tharhees Agart with Artemis fire control, and its communications is the Tharhees Mini-Talk. This translates into a cruise of 4 and a flank of 6. It has 10 heat sinks, and its weapons are all located in the front, naturally. It has 16 shots in the for both of the LRM-15s, and as such is relatively short-lived on the field. 8 rounds of combat isn't bad. I mean, 8 rounds of combat where you can get 30 missiles chucked your way from a bunch of very light vehicles, yeah, that's a significant threat. It's also got pretty decent armour on the front, 28, 15 on the sides and 14 on the rear, so it can take a few hits as well before it's finally taken out of action. Obviously, tanks do suffer from the fact that they can more easily be disabled by motive hits, obviously by having the track blown off, the engine being damaged a lot easier. It's easier to crit tanks because you don't need to roll an 8 or more. I think it's a roll of 6 or more will score you a crit on the vehicle, and those can be quite catastrophic. They can kill things like the driver, they can blow up the engine, they can do all kinds of mad stuff like that. So it's powerful, but it's also equally likely to get taken out of action quicker. And 35 ton though, it's not bad. It'd be relatively cheap compared to a lot of Battlemax, and the amount of missiles that it can dump on a target, yeah, pretty effective, not bad. I've always liked the little tanks like this, like the Hunter, and yeah, it's a cheap, easy unit to throw it at the players, or to use yourself in large numbers to be able to just basically cause all kinds of havoc. Artemis is nice as well because, although anyone who's familiar with computer games, Artemis will make your missiles more accurate, i.e. more of them will hit the target, or it will lock on faster. On the table, Artemis allows you to add +2 to your missile hit roll, so it gives you a slightly higher chance of more of your missiles hitting in that respect. Possibly even bumping up so you hit with every single missile, because you might roll, 10 and, +2, 12, every single missile hits and both launcher. Woo! So it can potentially be quite deadly in that regard. And yeah, so 8 rounds of fire, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. But yeah, we'll leave that one there. The little Hunter light support tank that could. Thanks for listening, as always, everybody. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Have a good one all. Bye.